Hello and welcome to Move With Ease. So I'm Caroline from Yoga Nut, a yoga and clinical massage therapist. And for this next 20 minutes, we're going to look at Slumpasana, this being Slumpasana. And what I'm going to do, the order of these 20 minutes are, first of all, I'm going to help set you in a seated, more of a neutral seated position. And then we're going to just check into our breath and see what that neutral seated position is going to offer us, how it changes our breath. We're going to revisit Slumpasana, and that is Slumpasana for those of you that have just joined me. And then we're also the muscles that bring us forwards in space, which I'm going to show you some self-massage techniques so that you can open up that space, and following the self-massage technique, I'm going to offer you a stretch. So let's make a start. So what I'd like you to do is sitting on a chair, just sit comfortably. So don't kind of set anything in your posture. So just how you would normally sit. And it might be that you want to close your eyes. So I'll join in with you as well. And just notice how you are here. And you're noticing the whole of yourself. So we are multidimensional selves. So notice your physical body. Notice your breath. Notice your inner thoughts and the conversations that are going on in your mind. And noticing the sounds around you. And emotionally, how are you feeling? And we're going to pay more attention to our physical body. Again, don't do anything just yet. So notice the contact of your feet on the floor. Notice the contact of your seat. So that's bottom and backs of thighs against your chair or the floor perhaps. Are you resting against your chair back? And where are your shoulders? Are they more forwards in space? And what about your head? Is the chin maybe tucked towards the chest? Is the head looking down? Just have a sense of your physical position. Now in Slumpasana, and this might be how to a certain degree you're sitting because you're in a relaxed, comfortable seat. Pay attention to your lower back. So does your lower back feel quite broad and wide? So in a rounded position, might be subtle. From your lower back, move to the front, so move to your belly. Is there a sense of the belly looking down towards the pelvis or the thighs? So the abdomen, the belly is closed. Then let's move further up our back. So notice your shoulders, your shoulder blades on the back, on your upper back. Are the shoulder blades moving away from the spine? So if you move to the front of your upper chest, is the front of your upper chest closed? Again, looking down, perhaps rather than forwards. And your shoulders, are your shoulders more rounded and forwards in space? Notice now the back of your neck. Does the back of your neck feel as though it's in a straight line? And from the back of your neck, notice your throat. Does your throat feel closed? So is your head maybe hanging down, and this might be just a fraction of it hanging down rather than a gross movement. So this is your variation of slumpasana, that relaxed, comfortable seat that we so willingly adopt when we're at our desks, in the car, or on the sofa. So I want us now to actively set a more neutral seat. So again, you can open your eyes if you want to, or do keep them closed, but we're actually going to move the body. It's up to you whether you want to internalize it a little more by having your eyes closed. Go back to your feet, noticing them on the ground. If you're leaning against the back of your chair, shift yourself forwards. Then we can play around with the position of the spine with a little more ease. Notice the contact of your bottom and the backs of your thighs against your chair seat. Feet grounded, seat grounded. Take your attention now all the way up to the crown of your head. And imagine a thread coming up from the crown of your head that lifts you upwards in space. Now, this upward lift isn't a rigid hold. There's a sense of moving up, which creates an expansiveness and length within the body. Now notice your lower back and your abdomen. Because we've got that upward lift, your lower back may have lengthened up. Maybe it's got its natural, gentle inward curve. And what about the belly? Are the ribs now looking more forwards? Is there a little more length in the abdomen than there was when you were in Slumpasana? Such a lovely word. And what about, let's move up to our shoulder blades. Now we're going to put a little bit of a movement in. What I want you to do is draw the shoulder blades really strongly back towards your spine. Now with this, what might happen is the chest and the ribs protrude forward. So it's like you're sticking the bum out. Maybe even the heads move more forward in space. So we don't want that position. And then round them forward so the shoulder blades kind of hug and curve around your body. And again, we don't really want that. That's really, really tight in the front of the chest. So we want something in the middle. So just do that action just a few times. We're going to come back to this action in self-massage. And set the shoulders down from the ears and halfway between that forwards and back position. And just notice the expansiveness that you feel in your body. You may be even sitting a bit more balanced on your seat. You've still got that upward lift from the crown of your head. Now with your chin, it's a real subtle movement. Think about drawing the chin backwards into the throat. Now, close your eyes if they're not already closed. And feel how this feels like to you. Now that you're in a more neutral, seated position. Notice your physical self, that multidimensional self, your emotions. How does this more uplifted, seated posture change your emotional state? Maybe it doesn't, but we're just inquiring, we're just noticing. What about the conversation, the thoughts that you're holding in your head? Still as busy, quieter? Just noticing yourself. So keeping this upward lift that we've just set. Place one hand on the upper abdomen, so above the belly button, and the other hand just on your chest. And keeping your eyes closed if that feels right for you. Without changing your breath, just start to notice your breathing. And if you can, encourage the breath to flow through the nose. Just inquiring, where is your breath? Is it in the chest with no movement in the abdomen? Is there an upward rise and fall of the shoulders? Is there any movement sideways with the ribs? Is there stillness in the chest and gentle movement in the abdomen. So just noticing, just inquiring. And as you relax, it might be that just by switching to breathing to your nose, or just by offering this upward lifting seated position, your breath has moved a little lower, the diaphragm working more efficiently. Now, keep the hands where they are and move into Slumpasana. Relax that position, and you can exaggerate that movement if you want to, like me. So the abdomen's collapsed, the chest is more looking down towards your thighs, the chin is jutting out, head feeling rather heavy in space. Bring yourself back in, and what's happened to your breathing? Has it altered? Has it stayed the same? We're not going to be here for too long. Sit yourself back up in that nice neutral position. Think about the back, the abdomen, the shoulder blades, the tops of the shoulders, and drawing the chin back towards the throat. So what you might have felt happen when you came into Slumpasana, that the breath moves up to your chest. So the diaphragm can't work effectively, efficiently, when we're slumped and rounded. But we give it the opportunity to fully draw down, to fully contract back up when we're sitting in a more uplifted position. And you might also have experienced that the breath not only moves up to the chest, but it also is of a faster pace. So that faster paced chest breathing breath puts us towards the sympathetic nervous system, that state of heightened anxiety, which we really don't want to be in. And if we are in it, we want to learn to bring it down. So one way that you could bring it down is adopting this more uplifting, neutral seated position. And this more of that diaphragmatic, efficient breathing takes us towards the parasympathetic nervous system, that rest and digest, that state of relaxation and calm, where we can concentrate more, where we can move forwards in our life in a more confident, competent manner. So let's address a couple of the muscles. So Slumpasana, we said that the shoulders were rounded in space. So what I'd like us to do first is just put that mobilization in. So shoulders come forwards and shoulders retract back. We're going to use that movement in a little bit. We're going to open through the pectoralis major, so the upper chest muscles. So with your right hand, I want you to feel your breastbone, your sternum. And then it's, really hard at the top. There's a bit of a triangular bone, the manubrium. And you're going to come off and you'll start to feel more of a spongy tissue. So if you gently press down, that's your pectoralis major. Now keep that gentle compression and then draw the tissue away from the shoulder towards the sternum. And now what I want you to do is draw the shoulder blade back. And you might only need a small movement with that shoulder blade to put a stretch within the chest. And then you're going to release, move the hands a little bit, press down, draw the tissue away from your shoulder, and then draw that left shoulder back in space. Now, if you feel that your hand's sliding, use a handy cloth, or massage therapists have these. Or you can use your t-shirt, you can use a piece of, like a sock, perhaps. And you just gradually do that all the way over that chest tissue. And it's really soft and easy. You kind of find a bit of a rhythm. You compress, draw the tissue towards the breastbone, you move the shoulder back for about 2 seconds. So it can be pretty speedy work as long as you get the coordination. So before we do the other side, just notice how that left side of your upper chest feels. And then let's move to the other side. So find your breastbone and the manubrium. Just gently press, and you'll feel that sponginess under the collarbone. Compress the tissue down, draw the tissue towards your sternum, and then bring the right shoulder back. Release. Move the hand, press down, draw the tissue to the left, draw the left shoulder back. Press down, right shoulder back, I should have said. There we go, and just work all the way in that chest tissue. Taking your time. No need to jab your fingers in, just use the soft pads. As you press down, you'll kind of meet a natural barrier. And you can work that whole kind of chest and breast tissue, putting in that movement. So we're gonna put in a stretch. So this is a really simple stretch. You can hold the back of your chair or opposite hand to elbow or interlink the fingers. You're gonna bring the hands behind the back. You might want to actually clasp the wrists. So I'm gonna interlink my fingers, that's more comfortable. So draw the shoulder blades towards one another. Lengthen the hands away if you're clasping the fingers, and then move the hands away from your bottom. So you can do the same thing here. You'll still move the forearms away from the back of your body. Now, what might happen is that the butt sticks out, the ribs move forward, the head sticks back. Find your neutral seated position and just get this stretch into your chest. Lovely. Very, very nice. And then release. So let's have a look at the upper trapezius. So you can clearly see it on me, probably on yourselves. You can have a feel where we come above the collarbones now and just gently press the tissue forwards, and you'll kind of feel a bit of a brick wall. So this is the border of that upper trapezius muscle. And just have a little prod. And because we spend our time in slumpasana, the aim as a massage therapist and yoga teacher, or my aim, is to bring that tissue backwards in space because we spend so long forwards. So just use one hand. So I'm going to bring left hand towards right shoulder, and I just gently, with the finger pads, draw that tissue back in space and just move down a little towards the shoulder joint, drawing that tissue back. And you'll probably, for me, with my frame, I kind of get about 3 pushes, and maybe start to travel back up towards the nape of your neck, so where the neck meets the shoulder. Oh, feels so good. And just notice the difference between the two sides, the work side and the non-work side. And then let's do the other one. So you're above the clavicle, soft fingers, of course. And you'll feel that barrier because it comes over your shoulder, that upper trapezius muscle does. And then you're gonna draw that tissue back, drawing it back. So it's like you've got the muscle actually in front of the fingers and you're gently pushing it back. It's got so used to being forwards in space, we're just encouraging it back in space. And to put a stretch into this tissue, what I want you to do is drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. And you might want to bring your left hand behind the back of the body, take hold of the wrist and draw the arm around. What might also feel nice is to look down to your right hip or knee. And with any sort of static stretch, aim to hold that for about 30 seconds. And then come up. Let's drop ear to shoulder. Feels nice, but I can feel my shoulders already slumping, so I'm going to push them back just softly. Bringing right hand behind. You can always take hold of your waist, or you can take hold of that wrist. Relax the other shoulder. It might be that you want to turn the gaze to look towards your left hip or your left knee. And that static stretch, hold for at least 30 seconds. So nice. And coming out. Now, to close this practice, what I'd like you to do, just close your eyes. And notice if you're in your Slumpasana or whether you've adopted a more uplifting, natural seated posture. How do you feel in your chest, pectoralis major muscle? What about the upper trapezius muscle that we've massaged and stretched? Maybe new sensations, you might have woken them up a little bit from their slumber. Just noticing. Also, is there a deeper sense of relaxation? Mind maybe a little quieter. Always a blessing. And gently coming back to the here and now, opening your eyes. And I hope this helps you to move with ease. And I'll be doing more of these. I hope you enjoyed it. You can always watch it back on Instagram or via Yoga Nut on Facebook. So if you have any questions, you can message me, email me, you can write them here now if you want to. But I'm signing off. So enjoy the rest of your day and I hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.